The heartbeat of competition. The drama of the moment. This is TNT Sports, home of NASCAR's race for the championship.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double
TNT Sports welcomes you live to Richmond, Virginia, where NASCAR Winston Cup Series drivers are ready to take to the track for Bud Pole qualifying. The Richmond International Raceway, 3/4 of a mile around, not the fastest track on the circuit, but boy, it's far from the easiest. 45 drivers to try for 43 starting spots today by racing the clock, with the difference between fastest and slowest likely to be less than half a second. Let's head down to the NASCAR Winston Cup garage. Here's Matt Yoakum.
What a week it's been, Alan, for Tony Stewart. He won an ARCA dirt race on Monday, won the Truck Series race last night, fastest car in practice. Today, you have to like your chances here, Smoke, of getting your first Richmond pole.
Yeah, it'd be nice. We've qualified second here in the past, but the Home Depot Monte Carlo was really good today, and we learned a lot running the truck race for Andy Petrie last night. So we got to get a good top 5 spot, and if we can get on the pole, great. But if not, if we can stay in the top 4 or 5 and really get a good pit selection, that's a big key here.
Now, once again, Tony would join the TNT team tonight for the Busch Series race. I don't want to put any pressure on you because you handle pressure so well, but Wally's been talking a lot of trash about getting you up in the booth, and he says that, he's going to kind of give you the what for up there.
Well, is he racing tonight?
No, Wally's in the booth.
Great. It's a long way off the top of the bleachers from where we're
He's prepared his notes all week long, if you believe that. Wally's actually done some work.
It's easy to find Wally's notes because they're all done in crayon up there, so we'll know which notes are Wally's and which ones are Alan's, and it'll be a lot of fun tonight. Being up there with Wally will definitely be an experience of a lifetime, so we'll have a lot of fun tonight. It should be a pretty good Busch race, and hopefully we'll learn some things watching tonight that we can learn for the Cup race tomorrow night also.
New terms to the world of Wally. Tony Stewart goes out in the 40s tonight. He has a great shot at getting that first pole. Marty Snyder?
Well, Matty, in practice this afternoon, Kevin Harvick was 14th fastest. He goes out the other end of the spectrum, 3rd today. One of the early cars to go out, Kevin, but you don't have a whole lot of confidence in qualifying. Why?
Well, the car won't go for a couple laps for some reason, but Jim Goodwin's car was really good after that, and that's kind of how it was last time here. So we'll probably be really good tomorrow night, but this is kind of a crapshoot here. Wally stole all my crayons, so we couldn't write nothing down.
I've heard he keeps his notes in crayons. Now, your buddy Tony Stewart is going to be in the booth tonight. You're running the Busch Series race, so you need to watch your P's and Q's tonight.
Well, I guess I won't have to say anything, because if anybody does anything wrong, Tony will just say it for me. So tonight I'll be out of trouble. I'll just not say anything and let Tony say it for me.
There you go. 3 second-place finishes in a row for this team. Last time this car ran, guess where it finished? Second at New Hampshire. Alan?
Marty, thanks. Alan Bestwick, Benny Parsons here at Richmond, set to bring you coverage of Bud Pole qualifying. Talked about in the opening of our broadcast just a minute ago that this wasn't the fastest track on the circuit, but it wasn't the easiest. We found that out today already.
We've proven that already in practice this afternoon. 4 guys go around. First of all, Mike Skinner, first lap, coming off turn 4, backed in the wall. A lot of damage to that car. Had to go to a backup car.
Army crew had to bring that one out. This is Christian Fittipaldi. Tried to make a late entry into turn 1, and it didn't work out all that well for him.
Didn't work very well at all. Another backup car. And then later on, going into turn 3, Steve Park spins the AOL Chevy, backs in the fence, another backup car. And then another car, very, very lucky. Kurt Busch coming off turn 4. Around he goes. All he wasted was a set of tires.
Nice little flying 360 there. Maybe audition for the stunt drivers. I don't know. But this is a tough track, and especially when it comes to getting that one good qualifying lap.
It really is, because there's so much pressure when it comes time to qualify. You trying to win the pole or qualify in the top 36 spots. Those tires are cold, and you're so lonely out there on the racetrack by yourself, and only you to blame if it doesn't work out well.
And like I said, the difference between fastest and slowest here in the spring race, just over 0.3 of a second. It's going to be tight. Now, this racetrack is part of the Richmond Fairgrounds complex. There's a lot to see and do when you come to a race here, as Dave is discovering for us now. Dave, where are you?
Well, you know, BP talked about being lonely on the track. Definitely not lonely out here, Alan. I'm going to show the folks today a lot of things that they can do while they're at the racetrack. This happens every weekend. You go out to a NASCAR race, and this weekend at Richmond, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. I'm starting out in the Trackside Pavilion presented by Chevrolet. Now, of course, they're this weekend sponsor for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400, and they decided to get involved in this whole rock and roll theme because it was the 50th anniversary of the Corvette, so they had 50 years of rock and roll to celebrate. In fact, I've got a Gibson guitar here, which is one of a kind that is a Corvette guitar. Pretty darn neat. Behind me, a memorabilia trailer that has a decade, or each decade since the 50s of rock and roll. You can walk through there. It's got things like guitars and an Elvis suit and things like that. People can react there. There's a whole lot going on with Chevy vehicles all around here, from show cars to showroom cars, and you can sit inside, you can turn up the stereo, you can clean them, you know, whatever you want to do with those. And also, you can get your picture taken to be on the cover of the Rolling Stone magazine, another rock and roll theme. So some of us might choose to do that and get your picture on the cover. You know, you never know what you might look like when you're in action and make the cover of a magazine. So a lot to do here. This is just one stop that the fans can make this weekend as they walk around the Richmond International Raceway. And again, this is the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 Pavilion.
Burns!
Yes?
I should start singing.
Oh, that's right. I got a guitar in my hand, BP.
Sing.
Yeah, I say, give me fuel, give me fire, give me that which I desire.
Don't give us a great job, Dave. Bud Pole qualifying starts when we come back in a minute. It's NASCAR on TNT from Richmond. NASCAR Bud Pole qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. Stacker 2, burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. And Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. Underway in Bud Pole qualifying here at Richmond International Raceway. Johnny Sauter in Morgan McClure Racing's 4 cars out.
He was 29th fastest in the practice session that was held. Finished about 2.5 hours, about an hour and a half ago. Here he comes off the corner, first lap. And this is, Alan, we may see the second lap being the fastest for some of these cars tonight. After those tires get a little bit warmer, they in fact might stick a little bit better.
22:20.
Oh, no, what a terrible lap for Sauter. That's a half second slower than he practiced.
And this is one of 2 teams that start the qualifying session without a provisional to fall back on. This one, Sauter's team and Ken Schrader's team, don't have a spot if they don't make that top 36 on time. And compounding his problem, that early draw, being one of the first 5 or 6 to run here at Richmond is always a disadvantage.
It is just a disadvantage. When the racetrack sits here, it seems like it slows down. And as qualifying continues on this afternoon, as more cars get on the racetrack, it seems to speed up. And that even that second lap was about 0.15 of a second slower than he practiced. Might make the difference in staying home and racing, staying here and racing, or going home.
Johnny Sauter trying to do the triple, ran the Craftsman Truck Series race here in Richmond last night. We'll run the NASCAR Busch Series race later tonight, and hoping to be in the Winston Cup race tomorrow. We'll see. Here's Casey Mears, looking for his second Winston Cup start here in Richmond. Qualified 11th back
now,
here in May.
He and Johnny Sauter ran almost identical laps in practice, and we can see already that Casey Mears slipped a little bit in turns 1 and 2. Can he make it back in 3 and 4? Not so far.
2 laps of qualifying format here today, as always. But the difference is that unlike Darlington last week, where the first lap was the lap for everybody, we might see some people here, a lot of people here, with that second lap be a little quicker.
Casey Mears about the same speed as Johnny Sauter. As a matter of fact, our TNT pace chase shows going in turn 3 a little bit better. Coming off the corner, he's going to beat Sauter.
21.87. It's okay, but it's not going to be good.
No, he's a 1/10 of a second slower than he practiced today.
So not likely to match that 11th place qualifying run that he had here back in May for Casey Mears. Marty.
Well, Sterling Marlin remembers the race here last year and took him out of the championship chase, basically. And Sterling, how's the car today?
It's pretty good. We was 12th, 13th in practice. So we'll see what happens.
All right, Sterling trying to concentrate on getting hooked up here. One of the next cars to go out, and they always run well here at Richmond, but does remember that race here last year where he got into that big wreck early in the race.
And again, Harvick almost got in the fence off turn 2. All that started in turn 1 when he got in the corner a little bit too high and not able to bring it back down like he wanted to. And again, look at this. These first 3 cars are really struggling, trying to find some grip. Now that's a much better corner there. And our TNT pace just shows you it's a much better lap.
Kevin Harvick, one of the Chevrolet drivers involved in the Chevy Rock and Roll promotion. That's Sugar Ray's colors, logos, and so forth. Harvick is carrying around. And Kevin takes over the top spot in qualifying, barely. 21.84 versus 21.87 for Casey Mears.
And Kevin's first lap was 22.12, but he practiced at a 21.57, so he's almost 3/10 off what he practiced.
This track slows down a lot. It sits there in the sun.
It's amazing.
Here is the most recent race winner at Richmond, Joe Nemechek. Good news for Joe, coming back to the track that he's won at this year. Bad news, he found out the other day he's lost this ride for next year.
Yes.
Hendrick Motorsports promoting its 19-year-old Busch Series sensation, Brian Vickers, along with Vickers' Busch Series sponsor, GMAC, to take over this car next year.
Now, Joe Nemechek ran 21.54 in practice, and we can see, check our TNT pace chase, he's about a quarter of a second in front of Kevin Harvick. Easily beats Harvick
by a bunch. Mid-wall sitter Joe Nemechek, 21.728, fast time on lap 1, and if he goes faster on lap 2, he's really going to move the mark down a little bit. I mean, a tenth of a second here at Richmond is a lot.
Is a great deal, but that's 2/10 of a second slower than he practiced, even at 21.72. He's going to be very disappointed with that practice run, that qualifying run, I should say.
Nemechek has not led a race since winning here at Richmond back in May. He takes over the top spot in qualifying now. Pretty good night for him here. Back on May 3rd, led 156 laps after starting on the outside of the front row. And went to the point and was there when the rains came and finished the race just 7 laps shy of its scheduled distance. Nemechek picking up the win. The last time the Winston Cup Series visited here. And you know, now that he needs a job for next year, needing similarly good results tomorrow night. Sterling Marlin will be next to qualify. Matt?
And Casey Mears, you lost about a tenth from practice. Casey, any idea where you lost it on the track?
Yeah, just kind of all the way around. I mean, the track just felt a lot slicker than it was this morning. We made a couple adjustments too. It kind of we probably would have lost some rear grip to try to help the center of the corner a little bit. And the center was still bad and the rear was worse. So, you know, we picked up a little bit of time, but the car almost felt like it was almost a little bit worse than it was in practice. I think it's just because the track's a little bit slicker.
Nice case, Marty.
Jimmy Spencer, we need to make sure the ball and the bingo machine works better for you next time. An early draw, how much is that going to hurt?
Oh, I think sometimes as much as 3/10 a second, you know. I drew an early number here last fall, and it really hurt us. And, you know, I didn't have the best of time this morning in practice, but I still feel like we had a top 10 qualifying effort. But it really depends. You know, if the car's right, I think Tommy's got the car right. We're still going to cut a good lap, I believe.
24th fastest in the afternoon practice, Alan.
Sterling Marlin on the track now. First lap was 3rd fastest to the 5 that have gone so far. Lap 2 looks good.
Looks really good. Pace chase, green, and so far, 21.61.
So Sterling Marlin, the early leader in Bud Pole qualifying here at Richmond. Just 5 of 45 drivers, though, have run. Check the Wendy's race menu later tonight here on TNT. A couple more NASCAR sets of action for you. Winston Cup Happy Hour, 7 Eastern Time, followed by the NASCAR Busch Series 250 lapper. Kevin Harvick's on the pole for that one. Then tomorrow night, our coverage of the Winston Cup Series Chevy Rock and Roll 400 starts with Discover Card Countdown to Green at 7 Eastern Time.
Todd Bodine on the racetrack, making a qualifying attempt. Pace chase was green for just a second, almost as fast as Sterling. Actually comes in 3rd best on his first lap.
Todd Bodine qualified 7th, finished 5th in this race 1 year ago. So far, far, though, his best short track qualifying effort in 2003, 34th back here in May.
And he's picks up a little bit. Third best, 21.67. Marty?
BP here in May. Dale Earnhardt Jr. started third. Is the car good enough to start that far to the front today, Junior?
It might be. Just got to get that lap. It's real tricky to run that fast lap. Like, we got a car good enough, but just got to make no mistakes. But we'll see how it goes.
He was 11th fastest in practice this morning, and one of the many cars that you guys will have to get used to in the booth. Matt?
And Joe Nemechek currently second, right where you won from back in the spring, but you're not happy with your time. The draw hurt you, Joe?
I think so. You know, the track sat there for a couple hours before we got to go, and just going out early, I don't think it's a ticket here at Richmond. You know, a lot of the tracks we go to, it's usually not. And the car drove good. UAW Delphi Chevy is the same car we had here last time. Just, I think going early hurt us. The car's driving awful good. I think you're going to see us in the front.
Tough week for you, though, Joe?
You know, it hadn't been too bad. You know, it's funny how racing works, and you know, it's all business decisions. Rick Hendrick, Papa Joe Hendrick, great people, good friends of ours. And, you know, we were focused on coming back here, and we still are. The team's pumped up on coming back here, and I think we have a shot at winning this race. But you know, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. I was hoping I wasn't going to be a part of silly season this year, but I'm right in the middle of it, and you know, there's some good things. Just have to wait and see how they all play out.
Nemechek trying to sweep Richmond, as Brian Vickers will take over this car next year.
Nemechek second right now out of 7 that have gone. You saw Michael Waltrip with the 6th fastest lap. And here's Kurt Busch on the track trying to see if he can, well, let's see, spin and win. I guess it'd be spin and win the pole, right?
Yeah, that would be good because we saw him spin out in practice earlier. He was 36th best in the practice session. So hopefully they've made some adjustments to this car to make him run a little bit faster. Right now it's not showing that.
Kurt qualified 7th, finished 8th in the May race here. Has not used a provisional yet in 2003. I hate to be the one to jinx him by bringing that up.
Right now, he's 8th and last of the 8 cars that have qualified.
Yeah, not too good. 12 top 10 qualifying runs so far this season. Best of them the 4th at Michigan in June. Let's see if he gets a whole lot better on lap 2.
Yeah, he got some better.
Yeah, about 4/10.
He picked up the 4th best. Marty?
BP, a good week for Jeff Burton, a new contract extension in hand. A, is it good to have that behind you? And B, is the sponsor contract far behind, Jeff?
Well, we don't think the sponsor contract's very far behind, but we're racing today. We'll worry about that. We'll worry about that other stuff during the week.
What about the car then?
We were pretty good in practice. Sitco car has driven really well all day. Obviously, the track's a little slower now than it was, and there's a reason for that. I don't know if everybody's tight or loose. I suspect it's just a little slicker than it was, so I hope we just, you know, we made a few little changes because we thought the track would be different. I hope we guessed right.
And they were 6th fastest, and they made those changes on the line with air pressure adjusting to what they think is a slick track right now. Jimmy Spencer on the track right now, Alan.
I saw Jeff Smith down in the pit area just a moment ago. He was flipping a quarter. He said, I just found this on the ground. It's a start on that sponsorship for Jeff Burton.
Jeff Smith, the president of Roush Racing. All right, what's Mongo going to do today?
Well, first lap was about 0.2 of a second slower than he practiced. He needs to run a 21.70 to duplicate practice. Hey, turn 1 was a good one. Turn 2, he slipped a little bit. And you see that caused him to be slow down the backstretch. Oh, he got him way too high in 3.
And those numbers start spinning. That's not good. Jumps him up to 4th fastest, 21.79.
He ran a 21.71, so he's getting close to what he practiced.
So Jimmy Spencer 4th out of 9 in Bud Pole qualifying so far. We'll be back.
Well, folks, welcome back to Bud Pole qualifying at the Richmond International Raceway. Of course, I am outside of the track experiencing everything a fan can when they're not watching the racing. And right now I stopped by where the Home Depot folks are to see what my friend Thomas Perkins is doing here. And he's teaching me how to make a toolbox. What the Home Depot folks do is they give the kids a chance from this kit to build a toolbox like this. And I think I've got it right. They could also build this little stool here. like this from this kit here. So Thomas is learning the proper way to use the hammer. He's wearing his safety goggles, right? Did they teach you how to hammer right, Thomas?
Yes.
Yes. And see, he's doing it very well now. He learns the leverage on the hammer, how to do that. And mine is actually, well, it's working pretty well. And I decided when I get all done, if I followed Thomas correctly here, and it's not like copying, see, he's helping me. If I followed him correctly, I have a neat microphone holder instead of a toolbox. So that's what I thought I'd make out of this.
Worked real good, Dave.
You forgot something, Burns.
There's a part Thomas forgot to tell me, I think, guys.
All right.
Thomas, what'd I do wrong here, buddy?
Careful before you keep aggravating Thomas while he's got that hammer. He's going to turn around and start.
I know. He's a much better craftsman than me, but the Home Depot folks down here doing a good job teaching kids how to build stuff.
Fourth quick for Ricky Rudd in the Wood Brothers car out of 10. That's not bad.
21.75, and we've yet to see a car that has been able to duplicate his practice lap.
Ricky Rudd going to make his 50th Richmond start here Saturday night. What a week it's been for this guy. Terry Labonte winning the Southern 500 last Sunday. Very, very popular win, I think, among the fans, but I know among his fellow competitors. I stood by Terry a little while this morning, and driver after driver and crewman after crewman came up, shook his hand, said congratulations.
Yeah, he couldn't walk through the garage here because every step he made, someone came running up, shaking his hand, congratulating him on his victory last week in the Southern 500.
Now, Terry's qualified 5th and 1st in the last 2 times here to Richmond. Was on the pole for the May race. Not quite that speedy on lap 1. He's going to be down 9th out of 11.
But TNT pace chase. Oh, it's so close.
Off turn 2.
Yeah. These guys, a lot of these guys have had trouble getting in turn 3. Terry Labonte did not. He had a good entry into 3, but I think he lost some time over in turn 2.
And actually, lap 2 was a little bit slower. So Terry Labonte, 9th out of 11 to this point here in the Bud Pole qualifying. Talked about last Sunday. What a day it was. Labonte's crew getting him the lead on a set of pit stops with around 35 laps to go. And he led from there to take the checkered flag, literally, from starter Jimmy Howell. Terry and Jimmy had a conversation, said, next race I win, I want the flag. Terry pulled up, and Jimmy remembered and dropped him the checkered flag. And while Terry took his victory lap, the crew celebrated.
Winner of the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
Great week for Terry. Of course, the problem with racing is that was last week, and now it's this week, and he's 9th out of 11 so far. Here's Jason Leffler in the Net Zero car. 4 races so far this season. Best qualifying effort, a 6th at Michigan in August, about 4 weeks ago.
He struggled in practice in 21.79, and we can see that he struggled in his first qualifying lap. But this is the one that counts.
He's 12 out of 12 so far.
And this is not going to be a very good lap either. 1/3 of a second slower than the, up to a half second almost going off turn 4.
So Jason Leffler, slowest of the 12 that have gone so far. And actually his second lap was a little bit slower than the first. Not too good. Matt?
A great stretch so far for Jimmy McMurray. 3 top 5s in the last 5 races. Now, your teammate's already qualified. You came to talk to him. What did he tell you about his car?
Well, I didn't actually get to talk to him, but he said it was just a little loose.
That's not the way you said it before.
What he said, well, yeah, just a little loose off 2s, all. That's what he said. I mean, that's Sterling, though, so that's a really good lap, though, I think. For when he went out, I think that was a really good lap. So just came down to find out air pressure and how he thought his car felt.
And your tires?
My tires weren't good today. We scuffed our qualifiers and our Bonsai Run tires. And the qualifiers felt terrible, so we used those for our Bonsai Run, and they were horrible. But I think we're going to be okay. I tell you, I'm winning this Picking Up Places award. I'm leading the points right now in that. So if we don't qualify good, it's not all bad.
Yeah, there's a perspective on it.
I'm surprised that their pace chase is not in agreement because I thought Junior made a very good lap over in turns 1 and 2. But our pace chase is not indicating that.
Junior was 11th fastest in practice. He's going to be 4th fastest out of 13 in Bud Pole qualifying. And junior carrying the colors of the group Stained as part of the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 promotion. Marty.
Matt Kenseth, our championship leader, waited to the last second to get in his car. Does the track appear to be getting any better, Matt?
You know, the track seems okay. The sealer's really wearing off the track quite a bit. I think the groove is going to be a lot higher than what you usually see here. It's going to be tough to pass in the bottom, but track looks good. You know, it's always fun to come here to Richmond, and I think we got a pretty good car.
BP, he said the bottom groove is really slick. That ought to be fun tomorrow night.
Yeah, we can see that these guys going in the corner, Marty, just like Jeff Burton right down. He goes in the corner. They're not able to keep the car down. It slides up, although Burton had a really good entry into one.
Oh, and almost lost it off, too.
But
little slideways there.
Got a good lap going. Can he keep it down in 3 and 4? So far, so good. Oh, and Pace Chase goes red off turn 4. This is going to be close. Oh, no.
Fourth,
8 hundredths of a second slower than Sterling Marlin.
Can you believe that? 8 hundredths of a second, and he's fourth. Lap 2, though. Green, green, green. Oh, it's going backwards.
Yeah, wrong way, ball.
Yeah. And coming back the other way.
Not fast enough. Outside pole. 1,000th of a second slower than Sterling Marlin.
Wow, it's close here in Richmond. Tomorrow, during the Chevy Monte Carlo Rock and Roll 400 this year, you can get more in-car camera action with NASCAR in-car on in-demand. In-car camera channels, virtual dashboards, real-time in-car data, and live team audio. 1-888 Sports In's the number on digital cable.
Did you see where they won an Indy for that?
Yeah.
NASCAR in on demand?
Yep. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, folks. Good job.
Here's Steve Park, who, as you saw earlier, did not have such a great practice session. This is the backup car.
In practice, 22:01 was his best lap. And let's see, 22:31.
Slowest of the 15 that have gone so far. Park with a best qualifying effort here at Richmond in second. It's got to be tough to have an accident in practice and regroup yourself mentally to go out and throw it all out there for that one fast qualifying lap.
Because these transporters only carry 2 cars. He's only second car. There's not another one there. I'm sure they can go back to North Carolina and get a spare car, but a second lap about what he practiced, 22 flat. Matt?
And Benny, right now we have a high-level conference taking place between John Andretti and Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Okay.
Talking about how his car was reacting on his qualifying attempt, trying to give John some advice. And you see by the hands, looked like it might have been a little loose.
That's what it looked like, yeah.
At least that's how it is on my NASCAR 4 game. Junior, your hands kind of saying the car was a little loose, possibly?
Well, the car just was whatever, you know. I mean, if I overdrove this car, I went in hard, it pushed. If I went in easy, it was too easy, you know. I just couldn't figure it out. It's, steering weird, and we got to work on it a little bit. We haven't been that great here in qualifying in the past. We kind of hit and miss the qualifying. Would like to qualify better because I know that we can race pretty good. It's real hard starting middle of the pack, even outside the top 10. It's just tough, but we'll see how it goes.
He finished third here in the spring, Alan.
And he sits fifth right now out of 16 drivers. Dave Blaney was 15th out of 16 on lap 1.
And second lap, he's 14th of 16. Lost all that, seemed to lose all that in turn 2.
Had that big slide coming up off the corner.
21.95 for Blaney.
14th out of 16 so far for Dave, who finished 9th in this race 1 year ago. Follow this weekend's racing action live online with NASCAR.com's Track Pass. Find out more about the free 14-day trial by logging on to NASCAR.com. Mike Wallace in the 09 car for James Finch this weekend.
21st best in practice. Now, if he could duplicate practice, he would be about 4th or 5th right now. Can he do it? 21.67. That's the number he's looking for. See how they're sliding up off the bottom?
Yeah, we talked about the sealer. This racetrack was not sealed this calendar year. So what they're doing is basically wearing off the sealer that was applied last year. Remember, that caused so much consternation in the early race last year, in May 2002.
You see Mike first lap 22.32, about a half second slower than he practiced. But this is the one that counts.
Ooh, a square up off that corner. 16th out of 17 for Mike Wallace, and he would be one of the teams lowest in owner points here as far as thinking ahead to provisional land. So he's going to be watching the clock very nervously here as the rest of these cars run. And speaking of no provisionals and watching the clock very nervously, we'll see how Ken Schrader makes out here in the Advance Racing Dodge, because he does not have a provisional to fall back on.
But he ran 21.63 in practice. If he could duplicate, that would put him in 3rd spot. Can he keep it on the bottom? So far, so good. Now back on the gas, off the corner, wide open. Good corner so far. About a 10th of a second slower than pole speed. Right now, Sterling could not keep it on the bottom in 3.
That'll be a little costly. 10th, though, out of 18, so Schrader's already beat enough cars where he didn't have to worry about that provisional.
I think he's going to be okay.
He's in.
21.83. Might be better on this second lap.
Kenny's qualified in the top 5 in 2 of the 4 short track races this season. Not going to be that far up today, but 9th out of 18 should keep him from having to, like I said, worry about that lack of a provisional when qualifying is over. Sterling Marlin, fastest at Richmond so far.
Qualify continues here at Richmond. Jeff Burton currently on the outside pole. You're hoping that stays, but you know as the temperature drops, do you feel like that will stay up there, Jeff?
Well, it's not really that I don't think it's that the temperature's going to drop. It's more that just more cars are going to run and get more and more rubber down the track, so it's going to get better. We fell off more than I hoped to fall off for sure, and car didn't drive near as good as it did in practice. We were tighter, we were looser, we were everything. We just didn't have the grip. So that says to me the track's a little slicker. The more rubber gets on the track, the better it'll get. But I don't think we hit it just right either. I don't think even if we'd have gone later, we wouldn't be on the pole, because I think we missed just a little bit. But good day for us. We're in the top, 6, 7 pretty much all day. And like I said, we just missed a little bit.
Currently second. He was 6th fastest in practice, Alan.
Here's his teammate Matt Kenseth, championship leader.
And he was 12th best in practice. He had run a 21.56 his first lap, 21.85, a 1/3 of a second. About 3/10 slower. Second lap, a little bit faster, 21.74.
6th place for Matt Kenseth. Defending winner of the Chevy Rock and Roll 400, came from 25th on the grid a year ago to lead 134 laps. Remember, he overcame 2 flat tires, too, on the way to the victory lane. And he would hope for a similar result tomorrow night as he continues to chase the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. Marty, what do you got?
Well, we have a lot of cars stuck in the inspection area. Ward Burton is supposed to go out 31st today, Alan. Currently, he is the 2 cars now from going out, and there's no Ward here. There's a car here, but there's no Ward here. Oh, here comes Ward now. He's walking up the pit road right now. But there's a lot of cars stuck in inspection. A lot of drivers out here without cars as cars are being pushed up to the line in the last second. And we talked about this a little bit at Bristol, but what does that do to the driver, BP? Does that kind of unnerve you a little bit when your car comes up at the last second? You got to hop in and go?
Yes, it does. You want everything to go smooth perfectly, but it always doesn't happen that way. Greg Biffle right now was 4th best in practice. This is going to be very close. 3rd best, first lap. How about that? Run a 21.63.
And this car had some mechanical troubles earlier. They had a line or something go wrong with the rear end gear on the car that dropped some rear end grease on the racetrack. Brought out the red flag for a time in practice. Green, green, green on pace chase.
Here he comes off turn 4 for the line. Is he going to hang? Just might.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. 21.48. Good enough for the pole so far, Marty.
48.
They had a line come loose on the gear. That's what happened, BP. They had to change the gear right before qualifying, and he was one of those guys who got his car 1 car before he was going to go out on the track.
So Greg Biffle, the new leader in Bud Pole qualifying.
And we finally found someone that duplicated his practice run. He ran about the same speed that he practiced.
Now, talking about the order in which the cars go out to qualify, that's determined by random draw about an hour before practice starts in the morning. And the drivers and the teams are responsible for having their car through inspection and up to the end of the line at the end of pit road when it's their turn to go. If they're not there, they get put on a 5-minute clock. Well, Johnny Benson and Hermie Sadler's teams are on that 5-minute clock now. They've not made it to the end of the line yet, ready to go. If they're not there within 5 minutes of their scheduled time, they're out. They don't get a chance to qualify. And for Hermie, that could cost him a shot at being in the race.
I see him right now pushing Hermie's car down pit road, getting the car down to the head of the line. And look at Benson. Green, green, green. Pace chase off turn 2. Close to fifth. I'm sorry. Kyle Petty.
Yep. This should be great for Kyle. Qualified 8th here in the May race. Is he going to duplicate it? Wow, 4th fastest for Kyle Petty.
Good lap.
Terrific. Kyle at 21.643. Another 0.03 of a second. He could have been second. Great job for Kyle. Team hadn't had a whole lot to cheer about this year, but they certainly can here at Richmond with that qualifying lap. Marty?
Well, Alan, here's the other end of the strategy. Like Ward Burton's team, they pulled 31st in qualifying, so they want to go out 31st. So clearly the track will be better at 31st. So you kind of in a weird position, Ward. You're like the 3rd car to go out now, but you want to go out 31st because you know the track will be better. Is that correct?
I don't know about track. Some of these guys are really superstitious, and they say, we got to go out what we drew, or we're not going out at all. That's what we're doing. We're going out 31st. That's what we drew, and that's where we're going.
Very good. How was the car today, Ward?
We made a bunch of positive changes. Really proud of the team because we started off quick, kind of lost it, and then we got it back. So hopefully we'll get a good lap in. Driver the car, do their part.
There you go. BP, you don't think race car drivers are superstitious, do you?
Well, it's bad luck to be superstitious, Marty. Haven't you heard that before?
You got both sides of it, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Benson's team did beat the 5-minute clock. JB strapped in. Qualified 9th for this race a year ago, 13th here in May. Which is his best qualifying effort on a short track of 2003.
Ran a 75 in practice. If he could duplicate that, put him about 10th first lap. Ran an 85. Johnny just 1/10. That's all you got to pick up, 1/10.
Now here's a guy who was standing there waiting for his car and had to hurry to buckle in, and like you were talking about before.
I don't think anything will bother Johnny Benson like that.
I think he's cool enough.
Cool, laid back guy.
Well, let's see how lap 2 goes.
This could be better. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, much better.
Couple tenths.
21.64, 5th best. Matt, good lap by Biffle, huh?
It sure was, Benny. A great lap by Greg Biffle. How would you describe that effort, Greg?
Well, you guys saw the lap on TV. It really screwed the lap up. It sucked. I I need to get qualifying like Jeff Gordon, just not make any mistakes. You know, I was way out of the groove down here at 3 and 4, and the Granger guys and Doug are giving me a great car to drive. I just got to drive it right, you know, just maybe trying too much or not, you know, miss my marks a little bit qualifying. I'm a terrible qualifier, but hopefully it'll hold up. I don't think it will, but it'll get us a top 5, maybe top 8 start spot for Saturday night, and it's good to know we got a good car.
Hey, Matt.
Just got to get myself where I don't make any mistakes qualifying.
Remind him he's on the pole. Remind him he's on the pole.
Benny says to remind you, you are currently on the pole.
Yeah, I am, but like Jeff Burton came over and said to me, you know, I got to thank Jeff Burton. You know, we listened to what they said about the track and let some air or change tire pressure a little bit, you know, brought him up. And over here, you know, he said what was scary about that, he says there's probably a lot left because he saw me coming off here in the 2nd groove. So somebody will probably end up beating us.
And Benny, not to jinx him, we're not going to tell anybody that he's never, ever won a Winston Cup pole before.
Good. Let's don't tell anybody that.
Yeah, he didn't sound too happy for the guy that's fastest, did he?
He didn't.
Yeah. By the way, the Johnny Benson thing, Benny said he was 5th fastest, and you saw the graphic come up that said he was 4th fastest. Benson and Kyle Petty tied for 4th.
I see.
And the graphic was right. The tiebreaker goes to Benson, higher in points.
Higher in points.
So there we go. Tony Raines, who had his best ever Winston Cup finish at this racetrack back in May, 14th place run. Looking to see if he can better his best ever Winston Cup qualifying, which came at Bristol 2 weeks ago at 12th. Former ASA champion out of LaPorte, Indiana. Those white quarter panels on that car, pretty remarkable that they've been able to make all the races and run. I say competitively. Obviously, they're not up there knocking around for top 10 finishes, but for an unsponsored team coming into the Winston Cup Series from the Busch Series with a rookie driver and no sponsor, that's not bad.
They have done well. And as a matter of fact, a few races this year, they have been fairly competitive. All right, 2nd lap, better. Oh, yes, much better. 11th best for Tony Raines. 21.757.
23 of 45 drivers have made their Bud Pollock qualifying runs at Richmond. TNT Sports at Richmond International Raceway with Bud Pole qualifying for tomorrow night's Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Hermie Sadler was on the 5-minute clock. He has made the cut. and is out on track now to take his shot at making the race. Marty, you got something to say?
He barely made the cut, Alan. He actually got in the car physically as soon as they pulled it off the scales, put on the belts on his way down pit road. What a great effort by this O2 bunch. They have 4 full-time employees and 7 volunteers to help them today. It's such a great effort just to even get him out there in the qualifying lap.
Trying to make the field for the 5th time in this season and the 3rd time here at Richmond. What would be his home track? Emporia, Virginia, where the Sadler family's from, not all that far south of here.
Right on the North Carolina-Virginia border.
Not going to help on that first lap. 24th out of 24 for Hermie. And again, one of the guys that's here this weekend that's way down the list in owner points. It might be tough for him to get a provisional.
He was about 42nd in practice, and he jumped up a little bit. He beat some cars, 21.98. 21 of the 24 cars that qualified.
So Hermie Sadler hoping to make the field. And he'll have to nervously wait it out. Matty.
And Johnny Benson debriefing with Jay Guy, the car chief. Now, you've been doing a lot of hand pointing down into 3 and 4 and coming off of 4. What's that about?
It's been loose.
How loose?
Well, not quite as short as the other cars have been today, but it's been loose, so we made a bunch of changes for qualifying, which is obviously a pretty good move. And, you know, between Jay Guy and James Ince, you know, they've made some pretty good calls on the things we wanted to change. And we took a gamble a little late getting through tech, but it was a gamble. So, and new Hendrick engine package worked really good. So pretty happy with that. Gonna have to live with the Valvoline Pontiac right at the moment. So we'll try to make it a little bit better for the race.
Currently 4th best star here, 8th on 2 separate occasions.
Mark Martin has his car so soft in the right front that the tire is coming up and rubbing the fender going down in the corner. You see just smoke coming out of the back of the number 6 car.
His first lap was 9th fastest, BP.
Not bad, 21.70.
Green, green, green.
Green, green.
Pace Chase says this second lap's pretty sporty. Mark Martin.
Oh, starting to go the wrong way off turn 4.
It's close.
Close, very close. Outside. 1/100th of a second slower than Greg Biffle.
Can you believe?
Man.
Biffle ran a 21.489. Mark ran a 21.499. 1/100th of a second. So Mark is second behind his teammate. Marty.
Jeremy Mayfield just talked to his teammate Bill Elliott, and between the two of you, your best educated guess, is the track getting better?
Well, it looks that way, but it's hard to tell. You know, it usually does here, but we'll wait and see what happens. Bill's got a good car, and we got a good car, so hopefully we'll have a good qualifying run here.
10th fastest. This late draw should help you a little bit, but is it good enough to get on the pole, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, we think we got a shot at it. I know we can, you know, hopefully run what 16 ran, but like I said, who knows? We just got to get a good lap in and hopefully get somewhere in the top 10. We'll be okay.
You looked at that 16 time and said, that's attainable. We can get to that. So maybe a good shot at the pole for Jeremy Mayfield.
Jimmy Johnson on track now. Pole here for this race 1 year ago. Qualified 10th in May. His 23rd fastest in practice.
The first lap did not look too sporty and was not too sporty. He's 16th best. But this is the one that counts. I think some of these guys are just forgetting about that first lap, just trying to make sure they get a good solid lap and going for it on the second one.
Whoa.
Oh,
lost the nose, lost the back.
The whole thing was sliding.
And so lap 2 will be a touch slower, and Jimmy Johnson will stay 16th out of 26.
Now they talk about a 4-wheel drift.
Yeah.
That was a 4-wheel drift.
Let's see, the nose shot to the right on him. He corrected for that. The back end broke loose. He gathered that up, and he didn't hit anything. Successful qualifying lap for Jimmy. Matty.
And Mark Martin, a huge smile, 1/100th of a second off the pole.
Randy asked me before I ran, did I have something for him? I said, no. He said, it's too bad you didn't have nothing for him. And I said, yeah, because I'd have given it to him. You know, Viagra team don't, you know, they just don't ever quit. That's a surprise, but so was last week, and so was Bristol.
And a great car for you here in the spring, too.
Yeah, this is the same car, so race setup should be okay. You know, we had an awfully good car and started in the back last time, so hopefully we'll do good this time. I don't know what I've done to make the racing gods mad, but they are really mad, and they're going to get over it one of these days, and when they do, you know, this team deserves it. You know, they put the work in, and they keep their chin up, and they do all this stuff, and I really, really will be glad to see things turn around for us.
Looks like you're starting to smile right now after that qualifying effort.
That's fun.
Mark Martin, second fastest so far. Long, dry spell, winless streak for Mark that he's trying to get over. Pretty good run for Warburton.
Yes, it was. Fifth best. 21.624.
It puts him just behind his brother Jeff. One spot behind him in the grid for tomorrow night's Chevy Rock and Roll 400. Now, he didn't wait till 31st to go out. He was the 27th car to take time.
I guess he went out when the NASCAR official said,
go.
You're next. Go.
Amazing how that works, isn't it?
Yes.
Marty.
Alan, this afternoon, Bill Elliott was 8th fastest in practice. You think your car's got a shot at the pole, Bill?
Well, the car has. I don't know about the
driver. What about the driver? Yeah, I was going to say.
The driver don't screw up, he might, but who knows? I mean, the Dodge is good. The guys have worked hard on it, and we'll see.
Fun feeling to race up front last week and race up with those guys and see Terry win, give you a little encouragement?
Well, Terry did a good job, you know. Coming out leading the race there at the end was definitely a plus, and we ran well. I mean, my hat's off to him. I mean, but that, you know, that place you got to survive.
Very good. And B, who was the last guy to win from the pole here?
Who was the last guy to win from the pole? Bill Elliott, maybe.
Bill Elliott, that's
hey,
right. 1997. How about that?
Thank you very much.
How about Jamie McMurray here lately? 3 top 5 finishes in the last 5 races. Things really come around for he and this team.
So now he needs to go back and talk to Sterling and said, one right.
Yeah, 19th out of 28 for Jamie McMurray. Greg Biffle leading Bud Pole qualifying.
Welcome back to Richmond International Raceway, where I have found the Army Pavilion, and this is one of the most interactive displays I found out here. In fact, 50 people at a time can be active over here, and I'm going to show you some of it. They had 8,000 people come through here at Bristol, so it's pretty cool. Come on with me. First of all, I got to show you, I'm going in the exit, but that doesn't really matter. They got a pit stop challenge happening over here, which is pretty cool. Back here, you can get in and actually take a ride around Bristol Motor Speedway with Jerry Nadeau. It's very fun. Back here, I think this is really, really neat. Software that the Army uses for training, they actually put you head-to-head with your buddy across there. You can fight each other, which is pretty cool. Hey, come on around this way, and I will show you there's a stage up here, actually a theater, where they show, you know, different things up here, different videos and stuff. And there's one more thing I think I was trying to show you. Oh, yeah, I want to step over here. What these folks are doing right now, they're sending postcards to the troops. The Army tells me that 50,000 fans have encouraged the troops by dropping them right in that box and sending them a postcard. Very neat. One more thing. I think we need to go visit the marksmanship area. That's right. Right over here, you can find a little 9mm pistol set up just like this. Whoa, don't point that at anybody. And you can take aim, do your deal. I've got the marksman right there. He's going to beat me. Oh, I think we tied. So anyway, Army down here doing their thing. It's a very cool display. Like I say, it's one of the most interactive ones I found down here. It's so big I'm out of breath, Alan.
Hey, Dave.
BP?
I would hate to be I couldn't be your cameraman. I could never keep up.
That's why I have Rob Dwana, and he's fast.
All
he's
right.
Fast, yeah.
Attaboy, Rob.
And he's on the cover of the Rolling Stone. That's right.
Elliott Sadler, his qualifying run, 20th best, 21.87.
And here's Kenny Wallace. He won one of Kenny's best tracks. 3 NASCAR Busch Series wins here. I talked with him this morning. He said, I could name you a dozen races this year where I was running okay until, and this is one of them. He said, got caught in somebody else's wreck with about 15 laps, no, about 4 laps to go, he said, here in the spring race. And instead of finishing well, I finished 29.
First lap was 24th best. Hoping to pick it up on the second lap. Looks like it'll be about the same spot, maybe a little bit faster.
That car just kind of wobbling or jittering or whatever you want to call it when he tried to set it down into turn 3. Nervous, I guess we'll call it.
The tires they're just not gripping the racetrack, and that's what the complaint the drivers have. They're just not gripping until they get some laps on it. First 4 or 5 laps, very skittish. Matt.
Well, I think Bill Davis is going to be shocked when he hears that your car was actually loose. Come on.
Good thing.
It's always tight.
It almost is always tight. I've got this thing with me in the car where I like to go in the corner and slide the nose. Whenever I get the slide out, I run a lot better. And we're making some progress, but My fault then, I didn't tighten the car up quite as much from the last chassis adjustment we made, but the team made some good adjustments, and 22 Dodge ran pretty good then.
Currently on pace to score his best start here at Richmond. Marty?
Matty, here in May, nobody passed more cars than Robbie Gordon. You were at one point, what, almost 3 laps down in that race, came back to finish 4th. What do you remember from that race here in May?
I just remember we had a really good race car, brought the same race car back. Obviously, it's not exactly the same because you have to keep advancing in Winston Cup. Guys worked on the body a little better, engines are a little better. We're a little loose most of the time in practice this morning. We seemed to fix it towards the end of practice on old tires. I think we got a shot at it. We'll see.
He spent the week vacationing in the Bahamas. BP, I'm just curious, when you race, did you ever spend the week vacationing in the Bahamas, you know, just kind of chilling out?
No.
Not doing much of anything?
No.
Relaxing?
No.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to check.
Never had the luxury of taking a week off.
Trapped group that's riding along with Robbie Gordon tomorrow night in the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 here at Richmond International Raceway. You'll see it on TNT. Rock and roll is what Rusty Wallace is doing right
He was
there.
rocking and rolling off turn 2. So we'll hear that more of that tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah, right off top of the show, I bet.
Fantastic.
7 o'clock Eastern Time, Chevy Rock and Roll 400 from here in Richmond, live on TNT Saturday night. There'll be lots of rocking and rolling and screaming and hollering throughout the race.
And I guarantee you, Rusty Wallace was screaming and shouting after that first qualifying run. He was 31st out of 31 cars that are qualified. Now this looks like would be a little bit better, much better, up to 11th, 21.73. He about crashed that first lap.
Rusty Wallace, 3 poles, 6 wins here at Richmond. He has been the master of this 3/4 mile configuration that was put in mid-1988. He's going to start in the front part of the field for tomorrow night's race. Bud Pole qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Just for Men. More than a hair color, it's the Rejuvenator. Ends gray in 5 minutes, looks natural. Wendy's late night pickup window where you can eat great even late. And Stacker 2, burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. The 5-minute clock did not run out on Dale Jarrett. He was on it for a while.
That's a good thing. Oh, car got loose up in 3 and 4. These cars just will not grip those first few laps on the speedway. And you can see that Jarrett, his first lap, really struggled. 30th best of the 32 cars.
DJ was 37th in practice. He did take a provisional to get into the May race here. Was involved in an accident with about 30 laps to go. Kept him from having anything to do some finish. How about lap 2? Lap 2 is going to be a little bit faster, but not advancing any positions. 30th out of 32 for Dale Jarrett, a 2-time former winner here.
Struggling.
Yep.
With a capital S.
30th out of 32 for Dale Jarrett. Well, talked to Jeremy Mayfield a little while ago. And he will be next up out onto the track in the Abraham 19 Dodge.
Hey, he ran a 21.54. All he's got to do is pick up 1/10 of a second. 1/10. You can barely snap your fingers that fast.
You say that like it's such an easy thing to do.
Yeah, it's not.
Mayfield 10th fastest in practice earlier. Best ever Richmond qualifying, a 14th this race, 1999. Qualified 19th here in May.
First lap is not going to be the pole, but once again, I think he might be just trying to, just trying to get ready, warmed up for the second lap.
27th on lap 1 out of 33.
All right, like I said, I think he's getting warmed up for this lap.
Crack the knuckles, stretch the arms, got that throttle foot all stretched out.
There you go now. Lost it up between 3 and 4. The bubbles started going the other direction. This will be better, though.
Yep, up to 16th.
21.795. Matt.
Well, we're catching up to Rusty Walsh, and Rusty, Benny said you were rocking and rolling off of 2. Describe that.
I just went out there, and the car didn't hook up at all. It didn't stick to anything that first lap. And I picked the throttle up coming off of turn 2, and it just got way up underneath me, and I just let it stop sliding and knew that I had from the middle of the back straightaway on to get the thing back up to speed, and so that's what I concentrated on. And in practice, it was really good. I ran a 45 in practice, and I really thought I could have got it in the 30s. I went out there and went after it, and the thing just got way loose on me.
He finished 10th here in the spring, and Benny, so much success here. 6 victories here at Richmond.
Hey, Matt, he should see that in slow motion. I just saw that, you know, in real time and only the last half of it. He really did a fantastic job not to crash that car.
He was dirt tracking it,
He was dirt tracking it big time. He looked like Tony Stewart did last Monday.
In that ARCA race at DuQuoin.
Yeah.
You've won a dirt race in ARCA, haven't you?
No, I ran on several of them. I don't think I ever won a dirt
I thought in
race.
Detroit City or someplace you said you...
I ran a mile dirt at the fairgrounds in Detroit, at 8 Mile and Woodward, but didn't win there.
Well, you know the only dirt that Allen's won on in his backyard when he's cutting his grass.
It's my sandbox, and I'll set the rules the way I want to. Thank you. Jeff Gordon.
Now, this is a guy, there's 2 guys I think that Biffle has to really worry about, and this is one of them. And I was trying to say that before I saw the green bubble.
Jeff Gordon, 4-time Richmond pole winner. 5th fastest in practice. Yeah, lost a little bit there.
3 and 4 really seems to be the problem for these guys, just not getting the grip up there.
17th on lap 1. Good through 1. Lost a little bit off of 2. Marty?
It was a thrash for the 24 car to get to the line. And Robbie Loomis, why is inspection so jammed up back there?
It's just we're completing a lap right here. It's just a typical short track, and time for practice when it's done is real close, and you just it's rushed. The inspectors are doing a good job. The guys are trying to do a good job. It's just real cluttered up back there in the garage right now.
Make it hard on you guys to make adjustments on the line. You barely got your tire pressures done before you went out.
It really does. It makes it a little more sensitive, and just got to make sure we're on top of it.
All right, Robbie Loomis talking about the jam up in the inspection area. Very tight. There's only like 6 cars out here ready to qualify. BP, why don't you come down here and qualify a car for us?
That's okay. I'm doing just fine up here. Thank you very much. Jeff Gordon, 3rd best, 21:59.
It's good effort there. Won't be on the front row, but he can see it from there. Now, that's going to cost Ricky Craven. You see that coming off turn 4 to the green flag? And those hands turn to the right.
The cars seem to be getting a grip. Some of them seem to be getting a grip down in 1 and 2, but none of them seem to be getting too much of a grip up in 3 and 4.
As much time as Ricky lost coming to the green flag. Lap 1 was a throwaway right then.
Yeah.
This is the one that's going to count right now. White flag lap for Ricky. He was slowest of the 35 on lap 1. And he wasn't all that speedy in practice. 38th quickest.
We can see he struggled in the middle of the corner down in 1 and 2. And he's already a quarter of a second behind Greg Biffle. Needs that ball to stop right there. Stop. 1/3 of a second. Stop right there. Didn't stop.
28th out of 35 for Ricky Craven in a 21.939 second lap. And we are about to fill the field and begin the bumping process.
35 cars so far have taken a time.
Well, Robbie Gordon is set to come out and make his qualifying run, which will be gone in 60 seconds.
From the network that knows drama.
A little trick I learned in the car thief retirement home. Could you hold this?
Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie. Gone in 60 seconds. Next Friday night at 8 on TNT.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. That would be fun. Robbie Gordon, 22nd best in practice. 21:69. Can he duplicate? Can he? First lap, did he? No.
22:15, 35th out of 36. You know, Marty talked with Robbie earlier. He made up 3 laps in the race here in May to come back for a top 5 finish. What a spectacular night and a great performance for a guy that has no short track racing in his background.
came from dirt off-road racing to open wheel racing to
road
stock
racing
cars.
and then the stock cars, and no short track background at all. Lap 2 much better for Robbie Gordon, puts him up to 16th out of 36. Matty?
Well, Jeff just finished debriefing with the guys. What'd you tell the guys about your qualifying effort, Jeff?
Well, the balance was good. Just like everybody else, just not as much grip out there as we had. And it's hard to get temperature in these tires around here in 2 laps. So, you know, being thorough on the board right now, I'm real happy with that.
5th in practice, currently 3rd on the board, like you said, Marty.
John Andretti in some new colors. How does your new ride feel, John?
Well, it's going okay. I think the Pennzoil Chevy's pretty good. We always like to have a little bit more time, but we just tried a couple things for qualifying here. We'll see how it goes.
27th fastest in practice this morning, the #1 car with new driver John Andretti.
Here's Larry Foyt, looking to make his second NASCAR Winston Cup start here at Richmond. He took a provisional, getting 42nd in the May race. Best qualifying this season, 14th at Michigan.
That first lap is not going to get it done, but he's 37th on that first lap. Can he pick it up on this lap?
He's off by 4/10 on that first lap. Gotta go, gotta go.
Definitely got to go.
Larry unable to get into the Southern 500 last Sunday at Darlington. And let's see, lap 2 was 4/10 faster, but still 37th out of 37 for Larry Foyt. Back to Richmond after this. A lot of NASCAR action from Richmond coming your way on TNT throughout the weekend. Tonight we start with Winston Cup Happy Hour at 7 Eastern Time. Then NASCAR Busch Series Racing presented by Advil at 8 p.m. 250-lapper Kevin Harvick is on the pole. Tomorrow night, the Chevy Rock and Roll 400 starting at 7 Eastern Time with Discover Card Countdown to Green.
All right, Billy Bigley have to try to make his first NASCAR Winston Cup start of the year.
Yep, 2000 champion of NASCAR's what was then All-Pro Series, now the Southeast Series. Unable to get in at Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400 and at Bristol for the Sharpie 500. Lap 1 for Billy, not fast enough.
Yeah, there's a lot of trouble down in turns 1 and 2, and I know the folks up at Bristol at Peerless Woodworking watching this closely. Hi, folks. Here comes Bigley, 4/10. That's not going to get it done, is it? No, not going to get it done.
And so far down the owner point list, by having just attempted a couple of races, they're not going to get a provisional. And Bigley not able to make the top 36 on time. He will be 38th out of 38. So Jason Leffler stays on the bubble, and Billy Bigley continues to find the Winston Cup waters rather rough seas. 38 out of 45 have made their runs. Greg Biffle and Mark Martin are the fastest 2. Next up will be Tony Stewart.
And this is the guy. Fastest car in practice by a bunch. Biffle right now, I know, is a little bit worried because he realizes Tony Stewart is really good at this racetrack and he really has a fast race car.
1 pole this season for Tony so far at Chicagoland Speedway. Never won a Bud pole here at Richmond, though he has won 3 of his career 9 starts here as far as the race is concerned. What's it going to be? Green, green.
Oh, look at that. Good looking lap.
TNT pace chase.
It's close. Went the other way. This is going to be really close.
Not this lap.
Not that lap, doesn't appear. TNT pace just says no, not this lap.
12th out of 39 for Tony Stewart. Will it be on lap 2?
Got to pick up 2/10. Lost him off turn 2. Looks like he's not going to do it. So Biffle dodges a bullet.
Tony Stewart, lap number 2 is actually a little bit slower. A couple of thousandths of a second slower, so 12th out of 39 for Big Orange. Already been a big week for Tony. Talked about his win in the ARCA Dirt Race in DuQuoin, Illinois on Monday. Last night, he drove Andy Petrie's truck to a win in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race here at Richmond. Came from the back to do it. And tonight, Tony will join Wally and I for the NASCAR Busch Series race here on TNT. And then go racing tomorrow night. It'll be fun. Here's his teammate, Bobby Labonte.
Now, Labonte struggled in practice, just 33 best. But we got in turn 1. So far, so good. Our hangs pretty good.
Bobby qualified 4th, finished 2nd here in the May race, led 62 laps. Matter of fact, he's had top 10 starts in 9 of the last 10 races here at Richmond.
So first lap, not very good. 36th best for Bobby Labonte, but Jason Leffler has been bumped. Mike Wallace has been bumped, and Labonte now on the hot seat.
Well, that's going to be kind of puzzling for him, huh? Top 10 starts in 9 of the last 10 Richmonds, and they were 33rd in practice, and going to be 13th right now.
Much better. All right, Marty, one more guy got a real shot. A couple more guys got a real shot at Biffle.
Yeah, there's a couple more bullets left in the chamber. One of them, Ryan Newman. Biffle's been on the pole for a long time. Ryan, you have a shot at knocking him off?
We were 18th in practice. We'll just be happy if we can get a good lap in the Alto Dodge. If we do, that's great.
I love it when these guys play like they can't get it done. He qualified 2nd for this race last year. As he said, 18th in practice this morning.
John Andretti, he was coached by Dale Earnhardt Jr. After Jr. made his qualifying run, Jr. ended up in the 11th spot. Did he teach Andretti anything?
John, 27th fastest in practice. The 4th different driver of this one car so far this season as they continue to search for the magic. And a sponsor for next year. John qualified 24th here at Richmond in May in the Petty 43. Lap 1.
Not too good.
Not too good. 40th. Out of 41.
This is, it looks to be, appears to be a much better lap if he can just hold it up between 3 and 4.
11th, 12th, 15th. And just lost a chunk from turn 4 to the checkered flag.
21st best. 21.803 for Andretti.
So Dale Jarrett is bumped out of the top 36 into provisional land. Steve Park is now on the bubble. And there are 4 cars yet to go.
Another bullet. I see Biffle. Greg, you better get out there and watch Bill Elliott qualify because he was very fast.
I don't think he wants to watch.
He don't want to watch?
He just wants to listen for the roar of the crowd.
Okay.
If Elliott beats him, you'll know.
He'll know it quickly.
Yeah. All right. 3-time Bud Pole Award winner here at Richmond is Bill Elliott. This race, 1997, and the spring race is 92, and this race, 1989. Very good in practice early today. 8th fastest for Bill. Pace Chase says not this lap.
Said not too good on the first lap. 25th best.
Bumping Steve Park out of the cars qualified on time. How about lap 2? Very, very good pack for Elliott.
He could hang there. They would put him about in the top 10. That didn't quite hang. Close.
13th for Bill Elliott, 21.73. So there you see where Elliott slots into the lineup for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400.
And then
there were 3. Ryan Newman still to come. Looks like Mike Skinner's car is being pushed to the line. There's the Army team pushing Skinner's car out.
And that is a backup car. You saw, we showed you at the very start of qualifying today where Skinner crashed his car on the first lap, his first practice lap. They ran, got the backup car, and guess what? He was 2nd best. As a matter of fact, and his time was fast enough to beat Greg Biffle.
You know, Benny, sitting here while we're waiting for the next driver to be sent out, looking at the times that have been run today. You got... Oh, here's Skinner's wreck from earlier today, since we were talking about it.
And that might not look like it was much, but that race car, look at it, folks, it was torn up.
And and Skinner hit on a part of the track where the safer barrier is not in place. It's going to be something we'll talk a lot about through the weekend, and we saw some of the crashes earlier today, but that safer barrier that the Indianapolis Motor Speedway was first to put into use has been finally developed for some of the shorter radius cornered tracks, and it's in place here at Richmond. They finished construction on it just a couple of weeks ago, and it was tested a couple of times this morning. Steve Park got into it. Christian Fittipaldi got into it. There it is.
Oh, man, I climbed up on a truck this morning just to look at this and see all that safer barrier.
You're smiling.
I'm so happy, so happy that the walls now will give. It's going to absorb some of the impact when these guys lose control and back down the wall.
Even though you just saw his car reach the front of the line, Mike Skinner's buckled in, and here he goes. Skinner, pole winner this race, 1999. Again, crashed in the first car. This, the second car, came out and ran the second fastest lap in practice. Now, because this is the backup car, the pace chase telemetry is not hooked up in it yet, so that's why we're not showing that to you to see how he's making out against Greg Biffle. But we'll know in about another 8 seconds.
And we'll know it a lot faster than our viewers will know, because we can just keep it from them.
No, we won't do that.
Well, tell them then.
6th fastest for Skinner. And that's a great effort.
Terrific effort.
That is a great effort for that team in the backup car.
I'll tell you what, this is a good-looking lap. Might have lost a little bit there on turn 2, but got in 1 and 2 on the bottom of the racetrack. Look how close he stays to that yellow line. This could be even better. Is it?
Oh, yes! The pole. Mike Skinner in a backup car sets the fastest lap of the day. How about that?
Yeah, Greg, you got beat.
Sorry. What a great job by Mike Skinner and crew chief Ryan Pemberton and that entire MB2 racing team.
That was the pole.
That was the pole.
Nice job. That's all you got. We'll have to settle for that. Thanks,
man. 21.464.
All right, he's got a couple left. Let's see, Hermie Sadler was bumped out of the top 36 by Skinner's run, and here comes Ryan Newman. And Ryan not expressing a great deal of confidence when we talked to him a minute ago.
He's only has 6 poles. Oh, look how far he came up off the racetrack down in turns 1 and 2.
So maybe he knew what he was talking about. So lap 1 for Ryan Newman. Will put him 32nd out of 44. Bumps Dave Blaney out of the top 36. Puts Johnny Sauter on the bubble with 1 car to go, and Sauter does not have a provisional to fall back on.
Man,
would you believe?
How much pressure can one person stand?
That's a Maalox moment.
All right, Newman, 4th best on that second lap. 21.536 for Ryan. Biffle might be a little bit disappointed, is he, Matt?
Benny, a 4.89 to a 4.64. Did you leave that somewhere out there, Greg?
Oh, yeah. Benny saw it, and I left it down there in turn 3, but as soon as I get out of the car and got a smile on my face that I laid down the best lap I can, and then I get beat, then I'll feel better about it. But it gets you, it burns you up inside when you know you made a small mistake and they beat you just by a tiny bit like that. But hey, it's racing, and we go off second, hopefully, if we stay up there.
Well, he matches his best career Winston Cup start. Currently second. Benny?
Oh, man, that's too bad. But, like you said, it's racing.
And, you know, one other thing that comes to mind while we're waiting on the last car to go, Benny, you see the name over the door of that 01 car. The last time this MB2 racing team came here to Richmond, they were not under the best of circumstances. In Winston Cup practice, their driver, Jerry Nadeau, slams the turn 1 wall, driver's side of his car. We know the story from there. Suffered the head injury that kept him hospitalized for a few weeks. The remarkable recovery that he's made since then from those injuries. The team forced to pull out a backup car that day, put Jason Keller in the machine, and under the worst of circumstances had to go to work here. They come back to the racetrack for the first time since then. The driver's in a crash early in practice, but Marty, this one's turning out to be a terrific story for them.
What a great story for Mike. I don't know where to begin with you. The wreck today, the thrash to get the car through inspection. You were on the 5-minute clock. That's why you went ahead of the 12. Did you think with all that going on, you could pull off a pole lap, Mike?
You know, I told him, I said we were 29th. I said, let's just take our spot if we can get the race car ready. And because the racetrack was slowing down, and he said, no, we're going to go last. You know, we just need the time to get the car ready, and it's going to cost us a little time to get it ready for happy hour. But, you know, I'm just really proud of this U.S. Army team. We, on our very first lap today, I don't know what happened to our race car. Something broke. I don't think something broke. I don't know if I had the tires warm enough, but we tore the heck out of our race car. And that's the backup car, and the Hendrick guys put a different engine in it. It was a backup engine, and the thing did a great job for us. It was a good lap for us. And I just can't thank Pontiac enough, and the U.S. Army, and Jay Fry and Ryan Pemberton, everybody that gave me this chance. And, you know, I've got people that stuck with us, you know, Justin Boots, Maui Jim Sunglasses, Easy Go Golf Carts, and a lot of people that's hung in there with me and helped me through being unemployed and being a sub or whatever. But this is a good thing for us to come with a backup car and sit on pole.
What does it mean for this race team? Jerry Nadeau obviously injured here in May. We just saw the accident. It still says his name on the roof.
I went in and told Jerry's here, and I said, Jerry, maybe we should paint this car a different color when we come to this racetrack, because you didn't make it through practice, and I didn't make it a lap before I tore the hell out of it. But he just laughed, and Jerry's eager to get back in this race car, and we're all pulling for him to get back soon.
One more car to go, but looks like they'll be on the pole here at Richmond, Alan.
Waiting for Christian Fittipaldi to get buckled into his car, and he'll be the last one to run here at Richmond today. Fittipaldi, one of the drivers pretty far down the list in owner points. He's going to go out there and make a lap to try and get this thing into the top 36. Meantime, Johnny Sauter on the bubble. If he gets bumped by Fittipaldi, he goes home.
So obviously he's just hoping and praying that the 43 does not beat him.
Well, Benny, we're here in the garage. We've caught up with Jerry Nadeau. You're walking out to find your guys, but what a great effort for this guys. They really needed this.
Oh yeah, God, my God. Ever since what, 3 months ago, and then they had an incident in practice. It's a big boost, and I'm just glad for Mike Skinner and all the guys. I mean, the whole team, and just glad to be here.
And you were in the hospital thanking all the doctors when he had the incident in the first session, so those guys really thrashed, didn't they?
They did, and I'm just glad that I was able to put on the stop. There's actually a few more cars left, but hopefully he can hold up.
It'd be a big day for Jerry, Mike, and the entire team, Benny.
It sure will. I don't think this lap is going to do it. No.
One lap left for Christian Fittipaldi to try and get one of the top 36 spots.
He's going to pick up almost a half second to get in the top 36. That's a bunch. If not,
I think Johnny's going to make it. Fittipaldi will be slowest of the 45 that have run in his backup car. So Johnny Sauter makes it on the bubble with no provisional to fall back on. And Bud Pole qualifying's over. Mike Skinner has won the top spot in the backup car. We'll look at the grid and tell you who didn't qualify when we come back.
125.79.
Bud Pole qualifying on TNT is brought to you by Budweiser. The best things in life are the things that are true. Budweiser. Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles, scooters, and all-terrain vehicles. And Stacker 2, burn fat, crush cravings, and supercharge your energy. Great story here today at Richmond. Mike Skinner in a backup car driving for Jerry Nadeau wins the pole for the Chevy Rock and Roll 400.
After crashing on the first lap in practice, Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon back in row 3.
Yep. Biffle on the front row, Mark Martin there, and the Burton brothers going to start alongside each other in row 4.
That might not be good.
Johnny Benson, Kyle Petty in the top 10 in qualifying. There's Junior, and your championship leader, Matt Kenseth.
And Tony Stewart, a lot of guys pointing toward him as the car to beat on Saturday night.
Rusty Wallace, 6-time Richmond winner, back in row 9. Ricky Rudd.
Great qualifying lap for Tony Raines. And we'll see John Andretti, his first race in the one car, starts 24th.
Kurt Busch, Jimmy Johnson going to come from a long way back, along with Kevin Harvick and Jamie McMurray. Harvick and McMurray, two of the hottest drivers in the last few weeks. They got a lot of ground to make up tomorrow night here at Richmond. And now the final 3 rows to qualify on time. Johnny Sauter, with no provisional to fall back on, gets the last spot on time in the field.
And Terry Labonte goes from winning last week at Darlington to qualifying in the 32nd position.
Now the provisionals. Jarrett Blaney, Park Leffler, Fittipaldi, Mike Wallace, and drumroll please, last provisional goes to Bernie Sadler. And so the 2 drivers that will not make the Chevy Rock and Roll 400, Larry Foyt and Billy Bigley, will not be in tomorrow night's race. What a day it's been for Mike Skinner. And Ryan Pemberton and the U.S. Army team started off earlier today in practice, that just a little after 11:20 this morning Eastern Time. They rolled the backup car off the trailer and went about preparing it, got back out on track for some practice, wound up looking very strong in practice, and then one of the final cars to qualify today, Mike Skinner, puts it on the pole. He'll lead the field to the green flag tomorrow night. Winston Cup happy hour in the NASCAR Busch Series race starting at 7 Eastern Time tonight. Hope you'll join us then here on TNT.